we are testing out the iron removing spray clay. So I guess instead of clay barring your car, you can do this. Spray this on here, leave it on for 3 minutes. Do not let it dry, and then clean it off. But this is where you can see like the different colors sort of smearing off currently. Don't know if you can see that because of the reflection, but you can see some of those black parts, some of the iron and some of the rust bits coming off. This is when you get kind of like those orange spots in here, and you can see those coming off here, which is nice. So after the 3-minute timer hits, I'm gonna wipe this off. You can see it's kind of everywhere in the back of this car, which is nice. There was a big portion of it right here. But yeah, it's like everywhere on this. This should help me clean this car off a bit more, but seems to be working. And then we'll wipe it off and give you sort of the final perspective here. But it is everywhere. You can see all those markings across it, just coming down. You can probably do this across the car, but I mostly saw it in the back of the car. But yeah, not too many spots on top here, but mostly on the back here. I'm not entirely sure what it's from. Maybe kickback from salt or different things like that, but seems to mostly happen on the back of my cars that I've had. So we'll see what this looks like afterwards. 3 minutes is up. You can see again some of the big drags here. It's really hard to see it with the reflections, but do this in the shade, obviously. But now we're gonna wipe it off. All of that came off. That's awesome. That is awesome. You can still see some of the spots here, right there and there. But I think we can respray it and get some more off as well. But you don't want this stuff to dry on your car surface, on your paint surface. But this looks like it did a pretty good job. I think I would have to do 2 or 3 sessions of this, try to get all of it out. And then we will clean off with some of the speed shine from Meguiar's garage. But you can see all of that. There's a ton of it. The iron coming off here. Didn't get all of this, but again, I think we can do a few sessions of this here. Where's that one right there? You can see a few spots, one right here and one right there. So hopefully a few times doing this, we'll get all of this out. You can see it bleeding, which is kind of a cool effect. But if it doesn't do its job, not super great. So it is getting parts of it, but and then we can do localized areas too, obviously. But this should help you get some of that out and then get your car looking brand spanking new. This one's a pretty big one. I don't think this is actually gonna come off, which is a bit of a bummer. I don't know what that is, if it's tree sap or something, but yeah. So far, pretty good for just spraying on and waiting. A lot less labor intensive, I feel. Okay, so I buffed it out a bit with some of that ceramic speed shine. I think it did a pretty decent job, but I think I would have to spray that on maybe 2 or 3 more times just to get every bit out. I'm trying to look very closely here. There's some bits here that are still in there. Spot here. There's a ton of spots. That's kind of why you were seeing a bunch of drips. So I think, yeah, you would have to do this, and I see a lot of it like here as well, where you can see a lot of just trying to get like the best angle of this. Here, there's a bunch of spots as well. So I don't know if this can get it perfect, but it can certainly get rid of some of the bits. Like from afar, you would really never notice it at all. But once you get up close, you can see a lot of the, I don't want to say imperfections in the paint, but like, yeah, essentially imperfections in the paint. Yeah, there's bits here too. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure if you kind of scrape it, that's probably something I can do too. It can loosen it up and then you can kind of like scrape it a bit. But again, you do want a lubricant on there so that you're not scratching the paint. But again, this is a freaking Model 3, who cares? But yeah, I think this does a pretty decent job, I think. This is not great. Did not do a good job wiping that. But yeah, on that like Tesla badge, there's a little mark here on the emblem. Again, not a huge deal. There's a mark there too. And I don't think there's really good spots where it'll settle. But it's seemingly cool that you can just spray it on and not have to do all the work of the clay bar. I think you can get like a rubber glove and scratch it out once you spray it on there. I don't think this is stuff that you want to get on your fingers. So yeah, don't let it dry. Keep it out of the sun, keep it in the shade. And seems to do a pretty decent job. At least seemingly. I can't really see a huge difference, but if it allows you to get off some of these marks, I think it's nice if you have some decent paint on your car and a car that's worth keeping the value high. Not like this car. Anyways, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I guess I'll try to leave a link to this Meguiar's iron removing spray clay.